Voila! This is Rochelle, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm diving into my uh, yearly or year in weekly pics book. This is a journal by Archer and Olive, and it's a dot journal. So you can do bullet journaling in it, etc., etc. I've decided to use this specific journal to document kind of each week in the year with pictures. And for today, I'm using a Ciao Bella stamp, this dragonfly. I really am loving dragonflies these days. I'm battling with my stamping tool and a book because it doesn't necessarily fit the page nicely. And this specific stamp kind of has a left side border or straighter border. So yes, had to kind of make a plan there. I'm using the backing of the stamp that's got the picture kind of stamped onto just for a guideline on where is what, because on this specific stamp I can't see necessarily all the detail. And then I'm using my gold Faber aqua dual markers to ink up my stamp. So you can stamp with these. They are a lot of fun. I actually did it, I think, in week 2 as well. Here I'm just kind of blending it directly onto the stamp. And that's the great thing about these watercolor markers, is that it doesn't ruin the ink when you contaminate one color with another color, so the colors can touch. It literally just runs out either when you write it, or you can actually literally rinse it on or under water, which is quite amazing. I really love these markers. They are beautiful, rich, vibrant colors without having to apply much of it. You've got the kind of full-blown pigment there without adding too much to it. And then I just spritzed a little bit of water, and then the stamp fell onto my page. Happens. Not the end of the world. I didn't mist the entire stamp or put full-blown water onto the entire stamp because it would be too much. I just misted it a little so that it would kind of reactivate or refresh that pigment, since this is a watercolor marker. I have a picture this week for this week, this is week 9, of shoes. So in South Africa we call these tackies, but they're running shoes, or in my case walking shoes. I had broken my foot in 2 places. I have no idea how. So yes, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what I do between 2 and 4 in the morning, but yes, so broken my foot in 2 places. Needed new shoes to kind of support the broken parts. I didn't wear a moon boot or anything like that. It was already kind of too late when we actually realized that there was a fracture, or the 2 fractures in the foot. So just kind of went with it. Next up, I'm using some stamps by my friend Andre Erasmus. I did do an unboxing of these. This is now after I've cut them apart and have kind of stamped them out onto acetate just to get the idea of what they look like. And I'm just getting out the letters that would spell week 9. And then I'm going to stamp it with the same kind of watercolor marker idea. So this really is a great solution if you don't have all the various kinds of ink, number 1. And number 2, if you want to do a multicolor kind of stamp like this, where you wouldn't necessarily with an ink pad be able to contaminate the colors like this, or get the detail color into the right place that you would want if it's not a layering stamp as such. So you'll see I've got my Tombow double-sided tape runner there on the side. I am just using that to put adhesive on the backing of these stamps so that they would stick to my acrylic block, as these specific stamps by Beautiful Scrapbooks and Andre Erasmus, who has painted lemons, do not have a sticky backing. So it's not that standard kind of photopolymer stamp that sticks to an acrylic block. Stamping out week 9 and I'm using like kind of variants of capital letters and small letters. This set has capitals, smalls, and or lowercase, uppercase, and the numbers and some special characters too. So really there is more than enough to keep yourself busy with here. And so I want to encourage you, if you haven't reached out to Beautiful Scrapbooks just yet, you can do so and order yours as well. So just stamping out the week 9, then I'm going to stick down my picture, and I'm also going to use some of the His Palette dragonflies, because like I said, it's all about dragonflies, to add a little bit of something else to this bottom kind of right hand corner. You saw that I wrote the dates as well with those watercolor markers. They do have a brush nib, which I use to stamp with, and then they have a 0.4 millimeter fine nib, so fine liner that you can write with, that you can add detail with, and that really is a seller for me, especially if you're into bullet journaling. That is the smallest nib that I've seen of these watercolor markers, including the Albrecht, which is also Faber-Castell, or the Tombow. This nib is finer than those, so that works for me. I like to write and draw fine lines or detailed lines in my bullet journaling, which then makes it easy if you've got kind of this fine nib to work with. I think the only thing left is that I'll add some splatters, again using the watercolor markers, just scribbling onto my acrylic block, taking some water and a fan brush, and then just splattering it all over the show, and then just cleaning it off with a wet wipe because it is water based. And then that is that for this week's layout. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you learned a little something, and that I will see you again soon. Bye bye.